Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 162 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Tuesday, wherever in the world you happen to be watching from. Now, before we get going, if you haven't gone and watched yesterday's episode 161 on Monday, go and check that one out. It's the start of a new season. It'll bring you up to date with our ins, our transfers out, the new tactic that we're playing this year, our kind of gung-ho mentality, our targets for the season, our pre-season results, all that sort of great stuff that's going to bring you up to date in this episode. So go and check that one out if you haven't been brought up to date here, because we are firing through milestones this season very, very quickly. We are in today's episode going to have our Champions League group stage draw, a huge game in the Premier Division to hopefully continue what has been a good start to the season, and also our first group stage match in the Champions League itself, depending on how the draw plays out and all that sort of thing. We're not going to waste too much time. We're going to jump straight in and see how we've gotten on so far. So, as you guys can see above my head up here, we're currently sitting third in the division. 3 games played, 2 wins, 1 draw, plus 5 goal difference and 7 points. We are level on points, only separated by goal difference with Liverpool, Chelsea and Southampton. Man City, the only side so far, 3 games played with a perfect record, 3 straight wins to start the season and plus 12 goal difference. Very impressive from the men in Sky Blue. If you didn't check out yesterday's episode, we did beat Man City in the Community Shield. We put that one away into the trophy cabinet and focus on other competitions moving forward. And we then opened the season with a 3-3 draw away at St James's Park against Newcastle. Newcastle pretty regularly score against us. I did say in yesterday's episode, if we're going to win games, it's more likely to be 6-3 than like keeping a clean sheet. And it definitely turned out this way. Ex-Isle of Man player Lionel Altamiranda opened the scoring for Newcastle with a pretty decent goal. And I think he probably views himself more as being a Newcastle player now than anything else. He's played more than twice the appearances he ever had for us. Still half the amount of goals. I guess it hasn't quite all gone his way. Went 2-1 down, we equalised, went 3-2 down, we equalised late on, and I thought on the balance of play maybe we were going to push on and find a winner. It didn't end up eventuating, but still, we're undefeated to start the season. I'm not going to complain too much. We then had a very good 3-1 win against Arsenal in our second match for the year. Lind, Rivera and Abdesamad getting the goals in that one against what is a very strong Arsenal side, now managed by Alex Neil, who previously managed, funnily enough, our next opponent, Leeds. He won the league with them 2 seasons ago. It's a very different Leeds lineup now. Their lineup has changed quite a bit with different clubs coming in, taking their players, a new manager, new shape, new structure, all that sort of stuff. And they did test us. It was 1-1 after about an hour mark. We brought in our subs, including Ruben Martinez, who actually came off the bench and scored a hat-trick on his debut. Goals in the 92nd and 94th minute rounded that one out pretty quickly. You can see here 1 appearance, 3 goals to his name, 9.5 as an average rating is very impressive stuff. And we might actually give him a run in the next couple of games. One of his goals was beautiful. He took it around a couple of defenders, rounded the keeper, passed it into the back of the empty net. Just superb work from him. And he's a big boy as well. 196 centimetres, 87 kilos, still a wonder kid, 20 years of age. We've had a good run with Mexican forwards, finding the back of the net for us with regularity. Maybe we give him a bit of a run out in these few games we've got in today's episode and see if we can't get the most out of him, or at least continue him on a hot scoring streak as well. Now, before we look at our future fixtures, because we're not going to play them all in today's episode, we do also have the UEFA Champions League group stage draw that comes through today. We are just going to set this to automatic. We're one of 4 English teams that have made it through to the group stage. Man City's in there as champions from last year. Man United's in there. Chelsea's in there as well, I think. I think maybe Liverpool had a qualifier for it, but it doesn't look like they've made it through to the group. We do go into the third pot with 59 as our current UEFA coefficient, which isn't terrible. The guys in the top spots there are up at around like 160, 170. So a couple more seasons of Champions League football and we should get up to that level. And of course, if we win the competition, we'll go flying right up. There are some big teams in that top group and some big teams in the second group as well. City have drawn Atletico Madrid in their group, Barcelona, Juventus in Group C, Inter and Man United in Group G. Chelsea have got a good draw against Sporting Lisbon. And now it's our pot, the pot 3 teams going through. And it looks like we've been drawn in with PSG and Roma, which isn't the worst draw, but also isn't great. I'm not going to lie. We'll have to beat one of those sides at some point in the group stages to get through. And it looks like we're probably going to get a relatively small team. Hertha Berlin are still in there. Eintracht Frankfurt, Red Bull Salzburg, who we've played a few times. But we get Dynamo from Croatia as the other team. So it's a pretty tight group, I'm not going to lie. So Roma aren't bad. They've got some good players. Their highest value player is Lucio De Sico, who's currently not in their starting lineup, but he looks very good. Some very good green technical attributes, a lot of green mental ones, a lot of green physical stats as well. 24-year-old Italian international. He's also their highest earner. They've got Claudio Morello, their second highest earner, not starting either. Italian central defender who looks tidy but not super spectacular. So they're not bad. They'll be a bit of a challenge, but the big one that we're going to have a look at is PSG. They're going to be a big battle. They've got heaps of players over £50 million value Even their subs are just ridiculously overpowered. Lynch we played against previously. Actually, he was at Ajax when we beat them in the Europa League a few seasons ago. Old greybeard himself. He's a right winger. They've got George Petrone, 24-year-old Argentine international. He's also a right winger. So they've got a couple of right wing options, neither of which are playing on the right wing. Ayoub Barabe is the right winger. He's also their highest value player at £84 million. Decent French international, 49 caps and 8 goals to his name. Solid winger, pretty decent. I swear I've seen his name linked with other clubs as well. Maybe he's just one of those players that gets linked with the likes of, Chelsea, City, United, whoever else. But they're a good team, and even when you look at their wages, they are ridiculous. They got Roger. Is Dan the one that used to play at Chelsea? He did indeed. So we have played against Dan a few times in the last few years. On 300k a week, that's ridiculous. We don't have anyone over 100k a week, and most of their squad, or the big chunk of it, is in there. They've got some old faces as well. So look at him here. Ansu Fati is there at 34 years of age, still playing on the left wing. Looks to have had quite the career. Looks like City had him previously. City originally paid £163 million for him from Barcelona in 2024. 4 years later, PSG paid £133 million, and he's been at PSG now for pretty much 10 seasons. They've also got Nasi Univar. Always interesting to see how he develops. Hasn't quite technically gone to the level you'd expect, but good finishing ability, good passing, good technique. Looks like he's developed as more of a number 10 than the inverted winger that I think he is as default in the game. But always interesting to see how those players end up their careers. We've got a few wonder kids in there as well, a few world-class midfielders, a lot of elite players. So it's going to be a hell of a challenge for us. Who do we play first up? Champions League group stage is drawn. FC Isle of Man handed a tough group. Where does that put our schedule though? That's the part that I want to see. Okay, so we've got PSG first up, and we will try and bring you guys that game in today's episode, which what I think means we're going to skip the West Brom game. It is Brendan Rodgers' West Brom. We played them a few times in the championship. They've had a weird time of it over the last few years. They've come up, they've come down, they've come up, they've come down. It's not been the greatest run, and I think, how long has Brendan Rodgers been with them? He's been with them 7 seasons, or 8 seasons it'll be in December, so he's been there quite a while. He's been relegated a few times, promoted a few times. Gave us hell when we were trying to get promoted out of the championship a few seasons ago. I think that was back here when they finished in second. And then we might come back for the game against Everton, who are down in 16th spot, bring you the guys that game as part of this episode. Magic of editing, though. I'm going to jump forward to the 2 lineups against Everton now. Right, and just like that, we are a couple of weeks ahead, actually. There was an international break after the West Bromwich game, which we won convincingly 4-0 in that match. Another hat-trick for Ruben Martinez. So back-to-back hat-tricks in his first 2 games for the club, and I'm really hopeful we might have uncovered a little bit of a gem here. We're going to see how he goes against Everton today, and see how he can continue that goal-scoring form. But it's always good to have a striker in form, and hopefully we can carry that through into the match. And it does put us into a good spot in the league. We're level on points with Man City now. I'll show you guys that in a moment. But first lineup, Mancini in goal, Abdesamad and Esteban as the defensive partnership. Carlos Andre and Lucas Gabriel as the wingbacks are both Brazilians, both called up to the Brazilian national side. Not caps yet, I don't think, but they should get them soon. Henri and Lind in midfield. Lind wears the captain's armband because Rivera is out injured for a little bit. Harold is the inverted winger on the left. Castro is the inverted wing on the right. He's leading the assist chart so far for us. And Schaefer and Martinez up top. Looking over at Everton, they're not playing a 4-2-3-1. It's a variation of that with 2 defensive midfielders and a very deep-lying central midfielder from the looks of things. Leonardo Renown, I've seen that name pop up a couple of times. 3-star current and potential ability, Brazilian goalkeeper. Solid, but not spectacular. I might have seen him previously when he was at Newcastle, if I'm being honest. But not bad, but not great. 40 goals conceded in only 18 appearances for Everton. Not the best record. Their captain at left back here, Stanojevic. Serbian 30 cap international. Decent, but again, nothing spectacular. £41 million value, 3-star current ability, and potential at 24 years of age. Not a bad player, but not super great. There's no one jumping out at me as being super fantastic. Lopez in the centre of the park has got a lot of work to do as kind of that box-to-box midfielder. 23-year-old Colombian is a forward by trade. They're using him a bit deeper. Might have to keep an eye on him from distance or if he jumps in and gets in behind. But again, 3-star current ability and potential. They're just solid across the park. It's a lot of 3-star players. They have got, is this Alfie Osbourne? It is indeed. So this is Alfie Osbourne, who was previously an English wonder kid striker at Reading. Reading wanted ridiculous money for him for ages. And then I think Everton might have let him run down his contract before picking him up for $18.75 million this most recent off-season. 4 appearances for Everton so far, no goals and 2 assists. Just a solid team, nothing super spectacular that I'm super worried about. Chris Edwards, the strike, he's a little bit better. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential, came through the Everton Youth Academy by the looks of things. couple of loan spells, but has been at the club most of the time through. We should be beating sides like Everton. We should be beating them at home as well. Calmly, I'm going to say pick up where you left off last time out. I'm going to calmly tell the front two that they're also expected to do well. And really, I just want us to keep up the good run of form that we've got at the moment. As you can see, we're sitting in second spot, level on points with Man City, who drew their last game out. They do have plus 13 goal difference, but we're not miles away from that if we get a good victory today. First highlight of the match, it's a header from Stanojevic forward to Osbourne. Good little triangle of passes there, releases Osbourne on the left. Lind is right there with him. Castro comes in to help out as well. And Lucas Gabriel sends a decent ball in the channel towards Martinez, but it's cut out well by the Everton defence. Back to Osbourne again. They seem to be favouring this left-hand side from their build-up play, but Castro's won it back in a great area. Can he find a square ball across the 6-yard box? Cut back towards Schaefer. Second goal of the season for Uli Schaefer. That 20 finishing, 20 composure, picks out the far corner. And it's a wonderful start. 12 minutes in, they were struggling to play it out from their back line. Castro with the one-man press. And makes a really good run. Intelligent run right to the byline, then looks for the cutback, which you see so rarely in this game this season. Martinez was in the area, but Schaefer gets there first and smashes that one into the far corner for his second of the year. Long ball forward here from Mancini. Finds Castro on the right-hand side. He's proven a handful so far, the new signing from Belgium. Header away there from Lopez. Now Edwards comes into the game for the first time and sends Osbourne out left again. They do find him early in transition. It's a good finish, to be fair. Alfie Osbourne hadn't scored up until today for Everton, but it's a wonderful finish. We'll check this one out in 3 dimensions. I thought maybe Mancini might have gotten his angles a little bit wrong at the far post, but credit to Osbourne. He carries the ball a long way. Defenders can't get anywhere near him. He's moving at pace, and he just rifles that one right-footed near post. Mancini doesn't even dive for it. Maybe his angles were a little bit off, but, you know, one shot, one goal, one highlight for Everton. They might not be out of this one entirely. Elsewhere, City 2-0 up against Leeds. Chelsea, Southampton also winning, so we do need to try and keep pace with them by getting 3 points today. Ball with Lind towards back stick. Schaefer was in the area, but it's cleared away by the Everton defence. Back to Abdesamad. Switch out towards Castro, right-hand side. We've got Gabriel on the overlap as well. Can he use that attacking pace? Cleared header. Finds Lind at the top of the box before Raphael scrambles it away. Back in by Esteban. Lucas Gabriel stays forward, wide right-hand side. Beats one man. He has gone down in the box. We're going to see if this goes to a penalty. And it might be a chance here for Martinez to add to a very impressive start to his goal-scoring career at Isle of Man from the penalty spot. A good penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way, smashes it in left-footed. We've got a whole heap of left-footed players. Rivera's left-footed, Martinez, Schaefer's left-footed, Harold's left-footed, I think, as well. Carlos Andre, Arnaud Henry. Like, we've got a lot of left-footed players in the squad. Wonderful penalty. Sends the keeper the wrong way, gives us another goal advantage heading towards half-time. We're going to use a demand more shout with about 10 minutes remaining in the half. There is a highlight here. Ball with Henry, back to Abdesamad in the back line. All the way back to Mancini. Just hold the ball, wait for them to commit to the press. Now forward to Lind in midfield. Tries to skip past a couple of challenges. Now Henry finds Harold. So 2v1 here if we work this correctly on the right-hand side. Schaefer, lovely ball to Martinez and a lovely finish. Just an excellent touch around the defender. He's got a double. He could be on for another hat-trick. 3 hat-tricks in a row to start a career. I don't think I've ever seen that in Football Manager or real life at any point. Wonderful little pass here. I think Lind here is where I thought he might lose the ball. Schaefer's little reverse pass there is fantastic. Martinez with the touch around the defender. Gets it on his favoured left foot. Passes it into the back of the empty side netting. And there's an immediate highlight here from kickoff. Everton about to make this a bit of a goal fest. Long ball forward. It's one back by Lucas Gabriel into Lind. Nice little flurry of possession and chances that we're creating here at the end of the first half. Ball out wide right to Gabriel. Can beat a man in the challenge. Cuts back towards backstick. Harold with the flick on header, but Leonardo Renam with a good save at the far post. Highlight might be about to continue here. They've looked long ball forward towards Osbourne. Brings it down. Similar area to where he scored. That time it's straight at Mancini with a great double save before Esteban hooks it away. They're very direct, this Everton team. They're looking to get players out early in transition, and Osbourne proven to be a bit of a headache on that left-hand side. But at half-time, 3-1 up. Nothing to complain about. 12 shots, 6 on target, 57% possession. 8 shots, 5 on target, 43% of the ball for Everton. Assertively, we're going to say very happy the way things are going. Keep it up, lads. And everyone's responded positively, which is always great to see. Wide free kick, Castro to take. He's gone direct at goal. Was curling back, but Leonardo Renam equal to it. Now be careful of this transition, boys. Long one forward. Someone's got to challenge Edwards. He lets the ball drop, and it hits the deck, and he gets a chance at goal as well. There's 3 defenders back there. I can't believe no one put a header or a volley or something on it in terms of a challenge. Going to have a corner here or a free kick. It's going to be Castro to try and add to his tally for the season. Good effort. Smashes that one top corner. Second goal of the season for him. I think his other goal was from a set-piece scenario as well, but a wonderful, wonderful strike. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. Tough distance, just outside the box. Doesn't have a lot of space to get it up and down over the defensive wall. But keeper could do nothing about that. Had pace, had power, had curl on it. Deep free kick of Decimard into Henri on halfway. Can come forward. Looks to send Harold into the channel. He's got a lot of work to do wide left area. It's actually won back by Everton. And now Matthias is going to come forward to them. Brings in Edwards into play. Switch out towards Osbourne, who flicks on the header. Esteban should recover the loose ball. Now Gabriel, Lind, Castro, sends Martinez in the channel. What can you do wide right area? Got a lot of work to do. Beats one man and forces a very good save again out of the Everton custodian. We will have a resulting corner. Harold to wrap his left foot around it now. Towards near post. Esteban was there, but it's headed away. Sueldo comes forward for Everton now. Ball back in towards Leonardo Renan. The press was there, but Schaefer not getting to it in time. And the highlight comes to an end. We are through the hour mark as well, so we're going to hit pause. We're going to look to make our subs as well. You can see Harold struggling for a little bit of fitness. We might bring on Mateo on that left wing, just a bit of fresh legs, and Henri's also similarly only down to 72% condition. We might bring on Santana with about half an hour remaining. We'll tell them we've got faith in them, and then we're also going to use Old Faithful. Get creative shout after an hour. It always does the job. Goal kick to be taken by Renan. Long one forward towards Castro. Deep ball back towards Lucas Gabriel. Now Esteban into midfield to Lind. Looks for the switch out towards the left-hand side. Matthias, Lopez. Rafael back to Lopez. Haven't seen a lot from the, Colombian midfielder. Long ball forward there is poor from Gabriel. Gives the ball back to Osbourne. And a good overlapping run here from Stanojevic, the Everton captain. We haven't seen much from him this match either. Stays forward. Looks for a ball back stick towards Matthias. And thankfully the header was always ballooning over the crossbar. But you can kind of see with this formation, the shape, like we do give away quite a few chances, even though we create twice as many. It's definitely designed to outscore teams rather than keep clean sheets or anything like that. Long ball forward here. Castro with the flick on. Esteban to Lucas Gabriel across to Santana. Good switch to Carlos Andre. Well weighted pass. Looks for Mateo fresh off the bench. What can he do with some fresh legs? Mateo again. Back to Santana. Over to Lind. Tries to force a ball that wasn't quite on. Santana thankfully recovers and plays a great ball out towards Castro. Lucas Gabriel, this combination on the right is doing great jobs for us early in the season. Knocked down there from Mateo. Carlos Andre stays forward and gets the strike away. It was a rasping effort. Keeper was scrambling, but just beyond the far post. Got one more sub up our sleeve as we head into the last 10 minutes. We might make that now. If we sort by average rating, Lind hasn't had a bad game. I don't have another midfielder on the bench, so we might leave him out there. Carlos Andre, maybe? No, not him. Maybe Lucas Gabriel. Maybe we give him a bit of a spell. Bring on Furkan Yilmaz while we're up and winning, just to try and keep some fresh legs for the game against PSG. And we're going to use Demand more with about 10 minutes remaining in the half. Deep throw in. Andre finds Schaefer. Deep on the left-hand side. Ball towards Martinez. That might have been the chance for the hat-trick there. Good effort. Clipped the top of the crossbar as it went through. But 8 goals in his first 3 starts. Phenomenal stuff from Martinez. In the end, 4-1 victors. 25 shots, 13 on target, 58% possession. For Everton, 15 shots, 8 on target, 42% of the ball. Castro should get the Man of the Match award, a 9.0 match rating. Passionately, we're going to say, very happy with the result and the way that you boys played. And that will be a good boost to our goal difference and 3 points, which of course is super important, keeping pace with those other sides up towards the top end of the table. We do stay in second, 1 goal behind Manchester City on goal difference, but Chelsea, Southampton, they've also pulled level on 13 points. It's very tight at the top. Leicester United, they're also only 1 individual defeat in their season thus far. Leicester losing to Chelsea, United losing to City, funnily enough, so they're only a point behind as well. It's very tight at the top early part of the season. Castro gets a Man of the Match award. We might give him a bit of praise, tell him that he was superb in front of goal, which is good to see. And we are now 11 matches in a row in the Premier Division without a defeat, which is fantastic and a wonderful way to start the season. It even goes back as far as last season as well, so there's a few draws in there, a few little fortunate victories throughout that run home. But I think it puts us in a really good position heading into the match against PSG. We're unbeaten in a few games, so I don't think we're going to change anything. We are going to give a rest day to each of the starting 11. Santana's got a suspension, so we'll bring in Miller for the next game. And maybe we won't bring in Miller, maybe we'll bring in Hisham Haji instead. But otherwise, I think we're in good shape. Magic of editing when you jump forward to the lineups against PSG now. Alright, just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. I think the rest day has helped us quite a bit. The other thing we're going to have to keep an eye on today, though, is Roma's playing Dinamo. That goal difference might be a thing that comes into this group if it is very tight. We're in good form. So are PSG, to be fair. Their only defeat was to Lyon away from home in the Ligue 1, or however you pronounce it. But we're in good form. Like, I'm hopeful for today's game. I think we can get a good result. We're going with an unchanged lineup on our end. Of course, the game is at Goodison Park, where we are renting for the season while reworks are being done at the Isle of Man Stadium. No changes to speak of. Martinez has, what is it now, 8 goals in 3 starts, which is just phenomenal. Like, I think probably the best starting return I've ever seen in Football Manager to date. Really, I just want him to keep that going as much as possible. Looking at PSG, they're playing a 4-2-3-1 because every big club in Football Manager plays a 4-2-3-1 this season. There's some interesting faces out there. We spoke about Johan Morel, I think, when we looked at the team. He's one of the best keepers in world football. He was a wonder kid for years. And he's been not just the starting PSG keeper, but also the French national side keeper for a good few seasons. Roger, the right back, is their captain, 31-year-old Spaniard, right midfielder by trade, but he can also fill in as a wing back on this right-hand side. Looks quite good. Legendary winger. Is very impressive. He's been at PSG for about 7 seasons, was at Real Madrid before that, so he's got a good pedigree. I think it was Berube was the person that they highlighted as being the most valuable player in their team. Playing a little bit further forward than I think he'd like. It'd be interesting to see if he plays an advanced playmaker or a winger on attack. He's got very good attributes, it must be said. 19 passing, 16 technique, 17 first touch, all the key ones above 16. Good off-the-ball movement, composure, anticipation, wonderful physical attributes, 17 acceleration, 18 agility, 17 balance, 16 pace. Elite winger by all descriptions. And 5-star current and potential ability kind of goes to show that as well. Santisteban, I think is the guy's name, if I'm pronouncing that right. Kepa Santisteban up front. A recent signing, it looks like, from Real Madrid for PSG. They've only got him on loan, actually. He was at Espanyol for a good few seasons. He was at Madrid for a few years after that. All very good match ratings over the course of a season as well. And so far, 4 appearances but no goals and a 7.0 match rating in his games for the Parisian side. I think we can get at these. I think we can get a good result today and set down a bit of a marker for the Champions League season. Passionately, we're going to say, go out there and give these fans their money's worth. And let's assertively also just tell everyone that we've got faith in them. Really, I just want more of the same. We created a lot against West Brom. We created a lot against Everton. If we can create a lot against PSG, we're going to be in good shape, I think. And we're going to also keep an eye on that Dinamo Roma tie as well to see what those scores might be. Petrone, deep corner towards Mancini. It looked like he might have been trying to cross it, but it nearly made its way on target. Mancini did quite well to save and hold. If we get this out quickly, we've got some numbers on the left-hand side. Martinez comes short, and he looks to dribble pretty aggressively down this left. He's got to wait for some bodies to get in the box. Plays a square ball across to Harold. Cut back for Schaefer. Henry from the edge of the area. What a goal that is from Arnaud Henry. I forgot to mention he's playing against his old club. It is a wonderful, wonderful strike as well. We're going to check this one out in 3 dimensions. Have a look at the run here from Martinez. Does fantastically well. Gets his head up, slows down, finds Harold. Harold gets a good area, knocks it back to Schaefer. Schaefer lays it off to Henry. He's on his own, can pick out a corner and just absolutely rifles that one into the side netting on the far side. That one could potentially be goal of the season. We might see that one again before the end of the year, I have no doubt. Corner here for PSG though, they're not entirely out of it. Headed away by Esteban. Idemar puts it back in. It's pinballing around and that's going to get ruled out for offside. The linesman has not moved. Mironov might have been offside when that second ball came back in. And PSG get one chalked off. So far they are on top statistically as well, it must be said, but we do have the goal. Felipe Augusto finds Mironov into Grau at the base of midfield, a player that we've looked at multiple times. Felipe Augusto now, switch out towards the left-hand side. Beraba, he might be one that we have to keep an eye on. Sends it out for Idemar, ex-Brighton winger, to chase. Cut back for Augusto. Now to Dan. Square ball to Grau. It's a good strike from Grau. 4th goal of the season for him. Smashed that one into the top corner. You can check it out here in 3 dimensions. I don't think Mancini could have done too much about it. Had pace on it, was right into the top pigeon as well. It's a good little triangle play here. Idemar to Augusto. Waits for the defence to commit. Cuts it back to Dan. Dan finds Grau. Similar area actually to where Henry scored from. And he hits it first time on his left foot. Smashes it into the top corner and then gives it loads as he peels off towards the corner flag. Maybe we'll use a get creative shout with about 20 minutes remaining in the half. A little bit earlier than we usually would. And we do also have a demand more up our sleeve as well. A draw doesn't hurt us. It doesn't favour us too much either. Might hit demand more with 10 minutes remaining as well. Just give everyone some focus through to half time. But you'd think PSG away is probably tougher than PSG at home. If we want to get 3 points against them, this might be our best opportunity. 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Mihailovic with a ball forward into Roger. All the way back to Morel in goal. Long one forward. Someone needs to challenge Dan. No one does. He knocks it down for Petrone with ease. Ball forward. Harold wins it back. Carlos Andre with a good ball forward. Schaefer tries to bring Castro into the ball, but it's lost out and Felipe Augusto stays forward. Idemar, wide left area. Similar build up to their first goal. Played in Dan, now Augusto, wide left area. Surely he's going to shoot side netting, cuts it back for Dan. It's a very similar goal to the last one we've just conceded. Maybe we've identified a little bit of an issue against a 4-2-3-1, but that man left top of the box wide open, and it's a good finish to be fair. Felipe Augusto gets all the way to the byline, cuts it back, edge of the area, and Dan just rifles that one, left-footed again, same corner. Same issue with Mancini not getting his angles quite right, probably a little bit unsighted by the defence as well. And at half-time, 2-1 down to PSG. Aggressively, we're going to say, show me something else in the second half. And then because we're rolling the dice and we're using that aggression, we might go positive for the next 15 minutes or so. If we get a few highlights on positive, we might stick with it. If not, we will move back to attacking for the last 30 minutes. Castro backstick ball, pinballs around, falls to Martinez. A lot of work to do. Plays it to Schaefer, and he just had to get that one on target. He's got 20 finishing and 20 composure. You think he'd be able to find a corner in that scenario. As things stand, 0-0 still with Roma and Dinamo. This would see us go bottom of the group first round of games. Beraba comes forward, strike from distance. Mancini drops it, but he does well to get out and hold the rebound as well. All right, through the hour mark here, there's one more highlight starting in a very deep position for us. Carlos Andre with the ball held forward. Harold looks to further flick on Herrera, but it's back with PSG in midfield. Patron, Gabriel wins it back in a great position. Martinez with a reverse pass to Schaefer. A lot of work to do, wide left area, and he blazes away. Pretty wasteful effort, to be honest. And through 60 minutes, we're going to make some subs. So Castro hasn't had the greatest game. We might bring on Richard on that right-hand side. Lind hasn't had a great game. Neither's Harold. We might bring on Mateo. Switch the two wingers, try and get some more creativity out there. And then let's also use Passionately. I have faith in you. Get out there, make a difference. We're going to also use a Get Creative shout with about 30 minutes remaining to try and salvage something in this opening group stage tie. Wide left throw in. Carlos Andre to take into Henri. If we get an equaliser, we're definitely going to go attacking last 20 minutes. Richard tries to flick it on. Mironov is going to clear away. Esteban should tidy up. Just take your time, Esteban. Wait for the press to come. Into Henri in midfield. Probably the only player that we could say has had a decent game for us. Esteban's lost out in a terrible area. Santa Sebastian comes forward, nearly finds the finish as well. He'd beaten the keeper but couldn't beat the far post. All right, we're going to go attacking. Corner to be taken by Mateo towards near post. Esteban's there. Falls to Martinez on the far side. Skips past one challenge, wants to get it back on his left foot, and towards Richard backstick. First goal of the season from Frank Richard off the bench. A wonderful assist from Martinez. He hasn't found the back of the net yet, but we are setting up a grandstand finish with about 20 minutes remaining here. Martinez does quite well from the set piece, it must be said. Beats one challenge, hangs a wonderful ball towards backstick, and Richard, arriving late, gets in front of the defender, nods at home near post. Keeper could do nothing about it. There's an immediate highlight from kickoff, which is always television, is always terrifying. I've lost the ability to speak. It's been a long day, not going to lie. Grau with the ball in midfield, plays Dan. Now Grau again. Switch out towards Richard. He's going to win this back in a great area. If he carries this ball correctly, the cutback is onto a few bodies in midfield. He goes the shot from the wide area because, of course, he does. He had a man peeling off back stick. He had a cutback option there, but instead he shoots it straight at the keeper from a nothing spot. Roger with the clearance. So we are putting a bit of pressure on PSG here late on. We've got one more sub up our sleeve as well. 79 minutes played. We're going to hit pause. Lynn's not had a great game. We're going to bring on Haji, who hasn't played much this season, but if he wants to get out of the club, this is the perfect opportunity for him to do something to change the game. We've used a demand more shout as well, and they've immediately got a highlight. Haji nearly wins the ball back, but the deep cross from PSG, Mancini comes out and claims. Can't get it forward, boys. Looks out towards Richard, who's been fantastic since he's come on, it must be said. Reverse pass to Martinez, who's gotten goal side. Can he find the finish? It's a poor effort, to be fair. Morel with the save, forces it out for the corner. Got caught between pushers and forces. Haji with the short corner. Richard beats a couple, puts a ball in. Grau recovers. Henri can send it out here to Carlos Andre, left wing. Does that now. Back to Henri again. Switch towards Martinez. Cleared by Ansu Fati. Abdesamad recovers. Have we got any late shouts that we can maybe use to put some injury time drama? Wide free kick. Haji to take towards backstick. Richard's in there, and Esteban was there as well. He just had to get that on target. We've used a Get Creative shout as well with 4 minutes of additional time, which we are through. The referee calls full time. It's a 2-2 draw in the end. In the second half, we definitely had more of it, but they hurt us with those two good finishes in the first half. 16 shots, 8 on target, 51% possession for Isle of Man, 19 shots, 9 on target, 49% of the ball for PSG. Shouldn't be too upset. We know PSG are a big team. Passionately, we're going to say you've done brilliantly to come back and salvage a draw. I guess if we are focusing on the positive and keeping morale up as much as possible, that's a good one to use. But I tell you what, I cannot wait for the reverse fixture. Roma and Dinamo drew 0-0, which is good for us. It kind of keeps the group nice and balanced. Dan, the central midfielder, his goal gets him an 8.9 match rating and the Player of the Game award. And we get 775k, which helps our overall bank balance. It wasn't that long ago that we were negative nearly £200 million. We're back up towards 66 at the moment, which is fantastic in the bank. Now, what does that do to our schedule? I think we've got two. I already kind of have my eye on them. We've got a game against Roma in the Champions League. Dinamo, 2 legs as well, isn't huge for us either. But we do have this massive, massive set of fixtures at the end of October. We've got Man City and Tottenham back-to-back in consecutive weeks. And I think, given that Man City are currently top and that Tottenham are currently 7th, but only 2 points behind us, we probably want to try and bring you as many of those games as humanly possible. So I think that might be the games that we come back for in tomorrow's episode. Hopefully, still a top of the table clash, depending on our results. Hopefully, we've got a little bit more progression in the Champions League as well and can set up some good fixtures to finish off the Champions League group stage, maybe on Thursday or something like that, maybe a Christmas episode towards the end of the week. There's a lot of football to come, and thankfully, we are still in a relatively good position, undefeated in all competitions so far this season. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to go that extra mile for the channel, feel free to drop a like on this video. It supports our content. It helps us get higher in search results when people look for Football Manager content. Or you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release, right all the way up to the release of Football Manager 2021. But more than anything, I just appreciate you guys watching. That's the part that means most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.